currently almost 1 a.m. I'm making this video. I want to put it out there. I want to show you exactly how to make your first $1,000 online in only 3 days, right? This is no shit. This is exactly what I did to be able to make my very, very, very first money online, right? I know for a lot of people, they haven't been able to hit it, or maybe they've hit it, but they haven't able to make it consistently. But for anybody just kind of starting out who has been kind of having trouble with everything, I want to show you exactly how I've been able to do it and the exact roadmap how you can do it in the quickest way, right? 3 days is super quick, right? It took me like years, right? And the second I found this specific model, it actually took me 3 days, or it took me a few days to be able to make 1.5K, as you can see here. This is the actual screenshot of me making my very, very first payment. So great to see. I'm gonna show you exactly how I did it, right? So I remember the time, this was probably when I was, sorry about that, probably when I was about 16 is where I started my whole online business journey, where all I could think about, right, this is the only thing that was in my mind, just because I was scrolling reels, scrolling TikTok at that time, and just seeing all these other people make a bunch of money online. All I could think about is making that very, very first money online, right? That first money where I didn't have to go into work to be able to make it. I don't have to actually work physically. I could actually make money online, right? That idea to me blew my mind, right? So whether it was like getting that first client, getting that first sales, whatever, that's all I could think about, right? And most likely that's probably you as well, right? If you're watching this video, either you are working right now. I remember, look at this. I was working at a warehouse job. This was not even too long ago. Either you're working on your business, right? Grinding on your computer, whatever it is. You're at your job maybe, or you're even at school, right? I'm showing you this because I was in every single situation, spending a lot of time on the businesses that didn't work, either working as well, another kind of work that I did, stuck at school as well when I clearly didn't know it's not what I wanted to do, right? So I want to show you how you can go from that to being able to make your first $1,000 online in only 3 days, like I said, right? Again, this is what I was able to do with this specific business model. I'm going to show you exactly, right? So to be able to make that kind of money, right, in only 3 days, you really only have a few options, and I'm going to get into the options right now. The first one is you can basically try and do and try to sell an actual product a certain amount of times. So let's say it's a $50 product. You can try to sell it 20 times, right? You have to find 20 customers. You also have to find what to sell, right? If you're looking at a digital product, that'd probably be the best idea to be. So you have to, create a digital product that's worth $50 and find 20 people to be able to sell it to. Or you can try to find an actual product, so e-com, if you will. I mean, the chances of you being able to actually do that is going to be pretty slim, because again, it has to be a profit margin $50 of the product you sell. So it probably has to be even more, etc. Right? You can try to do it that way. I'm not gonna lie, you can actually just go on Stake if you want. Just bet 1,000. Let's say on your favorite game. If you don't know what Stake is, it's a gambling website. Bet 1,000 and just hope for the best, right? But I don't think you came to this video to learn about this, right? Or you can do like all the other people you see, maybe make it trading, which, to be honest, if you don't know what you're doing, it's pretty much going to be the same thing as Stake. So might as well just go on blackjack, because you probably know how to play blackjack compared to just trading, which you have no idea even how to do, right? So probably Stake is the best. But again, this is not what I want to show you. I'm not telling you to go on the gambling. That's not what you should do. But it's just an example. If you really have to make it, that's one of the options you can do, right? So how can you actually make that kind of money legitimately, right? And not just gambling. You can do it by simply offering a simple service to people that need it, right? Any kind of service to people that are actually in need of that service, right? But why is a service, right, rather than all the other ways? Why is it better than all the other ways I just showed you, or all the other ways in general, right? The first reason why a service is so great is that you can get paid thousands of dollars up front. When you are offering a service, depending on how your service is structured, you can be able to make thousands of dollars on one specific service. I'm going to show you an example, right? Because I do this. I have a service. I charge a lot of money for it, right? As you can see, this was the first one I got, but I also get $2,800, almost $4,000. This is also payments I've been able to get. You see it on the same day here. A lot of money here, 3,000, 3,800, 200, 900. That was just split payments, whatever, right? So I get these kind of payments from this service. So that's what's great about it, is you can make a lot of money directly up front, and it's quick, right? It's not like you're not selling a $50 product. You're selling once, but it's a big package, right? The also thing that's great about a service is that you don't need many people to be able to make good money. You only need a few people, right? So just 1 or 2 people could get you, maybe to that $1,000 easily, right? Or even more, depending on how much you charge. And again, to be able to make that $1,000 I talked about, you really only need to find one person that is going to pay you $1,000. You are in a position to be able to make that kind of money, right? And what's also great about a service is that there's no actual cost for the service. Maybe you can value, your time as a cost for you, but there's no money that you're getting out of your pocket. Maybe, if you are outsourcing your service, there's going to be a certain cost. Usually it's like not a lot, but maybe there's a cost depending on the service, right? There's no actual cost. So there's no like product cost. There's no anything like that. Which is great, right, for a service. It's just basically your time, maybe sitting behind a call and talking to someone, maybe, right? And again, this is what I did to be able to make my first 1.5K online, right? But I want to preface that not all services are good. There's a bunch of services which you should completely avoid. And maybe it's actually these services that your favorite gurus are talking to you about, right? Start like copywriting, start whatever. It's not all services are good. By the way, I'm not saying all of them are bad. I'm just saying it's not all of them that are good. Example, because I had a service before. I was offering a service that was maybe not on demand, or maybe it wasn't demand. I just wasn't offering it correctly, or it was just like saturated, or etc. Right? It was a typical SMMA service, right? So social media marketing agency service, right? I was basically helping business owners with getting more employees through Facebook ads, right? Through Facebook employment ads. And if you didn't know that, this was me when I was doing this. This was the agency that I had, and this was cold emails. I was sending pretty much just hours of my day sending cold emails, right? I probably sent over 3,000 cold emails, lots of DMs, lots of sales calls as well, but I never signed any clients, even though it was service, right? I'm telling you to do a service. I wasn't able to sign any clients with this kind of service. But why is the question? Well, first of all, business owners are not the best to be able to get clients. I mean, they can be, but it's not every single business owner that's good. It's going to be Facebook ads. That was the service I was actually offering. And Facebook ads is a service that a lot of people offer. So it's not unique at all or anything like that. Everybody offers it. So that's definitely not, a good service to offer. It can be if you're really, really good, but if you're just starting out, everybody's offering it, right? And like I said, because everybody's offering it, this was an actual screenshot of DMs I used to send. The problem with this is that these kind of companies, right, they get these DMs every single day, right? They get maybe 10 to 20 DMs like this, just like I did every single day. So how do you expect for them to be able to sign if they're getting these DMs like every single day, right? So it just didn't work out for me. And this typical like offering this kind of service to local business owners is just very, very hard, right? And no business owner is actually going to take you seriously if 15, 20 people are outreaching to them every single day. Why would they choose you and not someone else, right? So here's exactly what you need to look for in a very good service to offer, right? And just before I even go into it, this is exactly what the service that I offer to my clients to be able to make anywhere from 4 to 6K per week, right? So if you're interested in learning more, just DM me info on Instagram to be able to learn exactly the service I offer. The Instagram is going to be linked below, right? But getting back to the video, the first thing about the service that you have to keep in mind, it has to be in demand. Offering your typical Facebook ads is just not going to work. It has to be something that's demand, right? I'm saying Facebook ad isn't in demand. It just has to be in demand, and people actually have to want it in this day and age, right? Maybe Facebook ads was more popular a few years back, but now it really isn't as much, right? Because everybody's got it covered already, right? It's something that a lot of people are actively wanting to do, like wanting to have done for them, right? So it has to be in demand. It has to be unique. Like I said, just offering Facebook ads, everyone is offering that. So you're not gonna be able to separate yourself. And you basically need to be the only one that is actually pitching your offer to somebody to even get a chance, right? If your prospect or whoever you're pitching your service to or your offer to is getting 15 to 20 DMs a day about it, it's going to be very, very hard to land. But if you're the first one to ever pitch them about it, or maybe the few select ones that are, and do a very, very good pitch, you're going to get responses, and you might even just get that client pretty easily, right? So it has to be unique. It has to be something that when you just DM someone or you just contact someone, it's basically their first time getting that kind of message, right? Which is super important. And you also, what makes a good service is that it does not take too much time, right? If you offer a service that takes hours per week to fulfill, then it's going to be basically the same as working a job, right? Working per hour as a salary kind of thing, right? That's not what you want, right? So also find something you don't have to hire someone else for. Like if you don't have to, manage someone to be able to deliver on the service, you don't want to do that. That's not the best way to go about it as well. So in that regard, a service like consulting, which I'm going to highlight here, service like consulting is probably the best, right? Helping out, consulting someone is not actually delivering it done for you. Service for them is just consulting them on what exactly should they do, right? So that being said, what is the service that you do is probably the questions that you asked me. And how can someone make 1K in 3 days with it, just like I did, right? If you've been following my Instagram or you see my Instagram, what I do is called Info Offer Consulting. And this is basically where I help and consult experts who are really good at something, right? Launch their very own online course or program. And why is this such a good model and why this works so well for me? I'm able to make, some really good money with it is because, we all know everyone makes great money from selling courses and programs. You probably see it everywhere online. There's some kind of memes around as well. We all know everyone makes really, really good money. And I'm just telling you this because, it's an actual real business. Maybe some people are not exactly the most legit, whatever that is, but there is actual good money. People actually get really good results. So it is a really good business in general as well, right? And I went over in last videos kind of why it is the best business model as well. But there are people who want to launch their own, right? Because they see the amount of money there is to be made, but don't know how to, right? And this specific service is insanely in demand, right? There's not much people offering this consulting service, and people pay thousands for help like this. Like if you can help someone set up their course, being able to help them with the marketing, etc., and get them to making $5,000-$10,000 per month with their course or program, they will pay you thousands of dollars for that, right? So you just need to help them get to there, which is quite easy in what I do, right? So how do you actually offer this consulting service and sign a client in 3 days, right? The first thing you want to do is learn exactly how to actually deliver the service. If you don't know what you're doing, it's obviously not going to work out, right? So either you have two options. Either you can learn on your own, right? The whole thing, you have to search online exactly, or you can learn everything you need to know with my fulfillment doc. This is exactly the document that you use with my own clients. And as you can see from here, this is all the things you pretty much need to know about actually running this consulting service and essentially just running your own online course or program. So pretty much everything, right? The big idea, the product, etc., marketing, whatever it is, right? Everything's in there, right? And this is exactly the document that one of my clients or my mentorship students, Sibi, is going to use to be able to sign his very, very first client. Because the second you have this, not only can you give this to your clients to be able to consult them, they can have it, but you can actually go over it and you pretty much know everything you need to know about selling a course or a program, right? So that's the very, very first step. The second step is finding your very first client. And what I did in the very, very first step of finding my client is basically just outreach to someone that was kind of local to me. I think he had about 30 or 40,000 followers, but you don't need someone who has that kind of following. But I just basically reached out to him, gave them the idea of doing this, and we signed. And that's how I was able to make my very first amount of money, right? I didn't have any case studies, nothing like that. I just did a clear presentation on him, super personalized, showed him what I can actually bring to him, the opportunity as well. And that's how I was able to make my first money, and he paid me for that as well, right? But you, on your case, if you want to be able to sign your first client, I want you to be able to think about anybody that you know, whether it's family, friends, whatever. I want you to think about anybody that you know in your entourage who's very, very skilled at something. It doesn't matter what it is. They just have to be really good at something. You can actually just pitch them directly. It's going to be way easier just pitch someone that you know to be able to get signed. Right? Or if you don't want to do that, or you don't know anybody that's skilled at anything, which is pretty rare, you can just find any skilled person on Instagram and reach out to them, right? And make sure you have a good outreach message, of course. But this is also one of the methods I was, in a position to use to be able to sign all these clients and get all these kind of results as well. These responses from the messages I actually sent, right? And the third step is to be able to plan a pitch, right? So whether it's a message or a video call or an email or video presentation, you want to be able to plan a pitch. So how are you actually going to approach that person for them to see the opportunity, to be able to want to talk to you, to be able to want to pay you thousands of dollars It's actually pretty simple. You just basically close the deal, right? I've been able to close clients for upwards of $4,000, but for your case specifically, you're gonna obviously have to charge a bit less. So, right around that $1,000 mark is definitely something that you can do, right? So it's pretty simple. Again, if you know someone that's around you that's skilled, you want to be able to help them out with this, show them the opportunity. They're easily going to be able to pay you 1,000, right? That's how I was able to do it at the start as well, right? And again, this is what I currently do, right? This is the consulting service that I currently do to be able to make all this kind of money that you see on the right here, right? And this is exactly what clients pay me, to be able to make anywhere from 4 to 6K per week with this exact service that's super in demand. That's an actual good service that nobody's doing right now, right? Being said, if you want to be able to get help directly from me on actually helping you start this very own info offer consulting business from scratch and being able to get it to 10K per month, right? It's a pretty straightforward system. If you want to be able to get my help directly from that, I want you to go to my Instagram, which is basically just linked below this video. DM me YouTube on my Instagram, so I know that you came from this YouTube video. And we'll see if we're a good fit to even work together, right? And if you should even kind of do this consulting service. It's not for everybody, so this is exactly what we're going to figure out. So again, if you're interested, DM me YouTube on Instagram. We'll be able to chat. We'll be able to see what we do from there.